Alright, today we're going to be changing an idler arm that is bad, and this is it right here. And if I move this, you'll see all that play, which should not be there. A lot of play right there. So we're going to change this out. And this particular Dodge Durango takes a 14 millimeter idler arm. They make one that's a 12 also, and you determine that by the bolt size here. Okay, and we'll be removing those two bolts right there, and then let's see if we could slide this over, and then we'll be taking this carter pin out, this carter pin here, and taking this nut off, and popping that out of there and replacing it. But it's fairly simple, as you can see. We'll try to get the camera set up so you can watch what I do. These bolts up here, they take a 13/16 socket to take those off. Alright, so now we're going to remove the carter pin. This is the first step that you want to do to remove this this part right here, the idler arm. I always recommend taking this part off first instead of the bracket first. This is also a 13/16 socket. And I recommend backing it up just a little bit, because there is tools that'll pop that apart, but it doesn't really matter to me, because it's going to be taken off. So I just take a small sledgehammer and a tool and reach up in there and try to break that loose. Now, this is the original idler arm, so it may be really on there good. Let me loosen it up a little bit with some lubricant. Alright, so I finally got it broke loose. Like I said, this is the original idler arm, and so it took a little pounding to get it off of there, but it you might be able to get a puller in there, but I don't have a puller for it, so this is a poor man's way. So anyway, it's best to leave that nut on there when you're trying to pound it. Gives you a little bit more coverage so that it doesn't slip off. Next thing we're going to do now is we're going to get these bolts, or these nuts, off of here. Alright, let's get this up. Let's see if we can get this upper one up here. We may have to go with the shorter socket. Yeah. Alright, well, let me grab the shorter socket. I'll be right back. Alright, even with a short socket, I couldn't get my air wrench in there, but you can get these things off with brute muscle. Just get in there with the wrench, ratchet that sucker off. It's a little harder, but it comes off. And there you have it. So there we go, we got it off. So the way it came off is the way it's going to be going back on. Let me clean my greasy hands up and we'll show you the new idler arm. Alright, so here's the new idler arm and the old one side by side. I've already attached the grease fittings to it. Try to get them as close as you can to the original because you know they got those angled just right to where you can get in there and grease them by hand. This particular one didn't want to get lined up like the other ones, so what I did is just put a washer in there and then I was able to get it lined up. So you could try that if you can't, because you don't want to break that off on there. Got that grease fitting on there, and go ahead and grease it up while you got it off, and try to get this lined up with the other one so it's a little easier once you get it on. I mean, it should be able to move, but it's pretty tight because it's new. Let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing put on, and according to the manual, the bolts that run through here, the nuts, you want to torque those for, let's see, what was it? For 1998, it's 110 pounds of pressure. And this was 65 pounds. So make sure you torque it down to the right specs for your particular year. So I'm going to turn the camera off again and put this up. Alright, so I got the new one on there, and I'm going to torque it. Like I said, these bolts right here, it's supposed to be 110. Okay, there's that one. Okay, so that's 110. And let me adjust this real quick to 65. All right. And we'll move this over to the other. Now this new nut that came with this idler arm, the other one was the exact same size as the other bolts, which they were 13/16, but this newer nut that came with this is 7/8. Yours may be different, but there we go. Now I got it at 65, but you got to remember we got to put a new carter pin in it. So we may have to go a little tighter. Oh, actually it's just right. There we go. All right. Try to push that in a little bit more. There we go. Just want to get those out of the way so nothing sticks on them. All right, so that's not going anywhere. So that's it, folks. It's pretty simple. Little elbow grease on it. This was the most difficult part, trying to get out, because it had been in there since the vehicle was built. But now the thing is stiff. It's not moving at all, and that's what we want. So I hope this helps you out, and until next time. Can see up in there. Oh, all right, cool. Just got to put the shroud back on for this thing, and that's it right there. And they just these things just push back on and hold it in place. All right, again, I hope this helps you.